Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone, welcome back to the channel and to the Corona Chronicles. So in this video I want to talk with you about what to do when your vendors start to get a bit sketchy. A lot of companies are mothballing their businesses, right? They're locking the doors either because their municipal government may have shut them down or they're just battening down the hatches in order to try to survive the short term. Excuse me. And so when they start to act sketchy, I want you to be mindful of the fact that the number of business failures that we're going to see during this crisis is going to be exponential. After the Corona crisis runs its way through, we're going to probably have a debt crisis. We could have a recession. Might even be a depression. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we might have a quick recession, but it seems Western governments are pretty focused on big stimulus injections to try to restart the economy that is slowing to a halt. But for your vendors, the people that you need in order to do business, you got to make sure that you have backups. What that looks like is, what would you do if your vendor went out of business today? If they called you and said, we can no longer supply you whatever it is that they are supplying you, who would you go to next? I would say if there are 3 potential vendors for you to use in your company, at least 1 will keep going. 2, hopefully. 3, maybe unlikely. I think the chances of them surviving, all 3, are probably increasing in direct proportion to the decrease in time that this situation happens. But as you've heard me say in previous videos, the people I'm talking to say that we could be in this for till the end of summer, September, October, and I don't know a lot of businesses that were in a position to feed their treasury, right? This is where you keep your excess cash in your company. Most people were so spoiled by 10 years of a bull market, they lived a big life. They bought a ton of shit. They had more staff than maybe they needed. They took lots of time off. They didn't do business development. They didn't do sales. And I'm not fucking shaming those people, but those chickens are coming to roost. There are going to be huge consequences for people who didn't kind of get shit done when things were good. And so for you can't allow the failure of your vendors to end up tanking your business. So here's what I want you to do. Every vendor that you're dealing with right now, I want you to figure out 2 other vendors in their space. And I want you to reach out to those vendors. Now, this is not you being disloyal. This is you hedging your bets. This is you having a plan B and a plan C. Now, with those vendors that you're currently working with, try to continue to support them. Be mindful that their business is probably challenged as well, and they may not be in the right mindset or have an executable plan or even see the opportunities that you do. And so you want to check in with them maybe as often as every 2 weeks to see how they're doing. Are there any interruptions that they foresee in what they offer you? And if there is, you plan accordingly. But if you've had conversations with 2 other vendors, what you want to do is find out what those vendors would offer you in regards to terms. Now, you may have chosen the vendor you're with now because they offer the best terms or the best service or the best variety, but 2 other vendors may also be vying for your business and may be prepared to make concessions on pricing and so on to get your business in a challenging time. This is really a buyer's market. It isn't a seller's market. Those sellers, and this could even be you that I'm talking to, may have seen a lot of your markets evaporate. And so it's a great time to be negotiating rates with new people. You may even, if you get a good enough offer from your second or third choice, go back to your initial vendor and say, is there anything we can do on terms or price? I've been offered a better rate by someone else. It's a great time to have that conversation as a buyer. What I want you to do is make a list of every vendor that you work with that your business depends on and put them at the top of each list, right? So you might have an accountant and a lawyer and a supplier of stationery and a delivery company and so on. And then figure out who your next choice is if that company folded, and then your third choice. Reach out to the second and third choice and find out how their business is doing, what they could offer you, and just say to them, listen, I'm working with a company right now. I wouldn't disclose who it is because you don't want to get it back to your existing vendor that you're shopping. But just say to them, I need you to quote on the work and tell me how I can ensure that you can get it done for me kind of moving forward. Once you know what you're dealing with, then if you choose to, I'd go back to my initial vendor and look to see if there's something they could do for me in the short term, medium term, long term. And if you don't like what you hear, and they might not be in a position to do anything for you, then consider if it makes enough sense to go to your second or third vendor. If you end up going to a second and third vendor and that goes sideways, it's not like the first vendor is not going to take your business back. Again, it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. But really see this opportunity not only as a way to hedge your bets in case your key vendors fall and you get stuck holding the bag, but on top of that, kind of reviewing the relationships and looking to see, are there some better terms that you might be able to negotiate at this term? And so some people might go, oh, I don't want to do that. I think it's mean or I think it's dirty. It's business. And so every dollar you don't spend, you keep in your pocket. And so spend 50 to 75% of your time hunting up new business. Always, of course, take care of the existing clients you have, but also make sure that your vendors have backups just in case that if they go sideways, you don't go sideways. Anyway, if you have any questions about how to do that or ideas, put them in the comments below. And I wish you well. This is a market where gladiators are going to generate more wealth than probably we have in the last 10 years. And there's going to be an enormous amount of business failures. And so let's just accept that that is likely what's going to happen. Don't allow another business's failure to have a massive impact on yours. Make sure that you have a plan B and a plan C in place. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.